It is the 13th of July 2025. Drying up my bed covers for the winter and autumn season. And I'm also planning to get rid of the grey and just have natural colour by a specialist friend to match the woodwork with my bookcase. Yeah, so I'm just sitting here wanting to do a Bible reading as a Christian lady. Said good morning to my pet bird. Have lots of DVDs that I don't use. Don't use an aerial, TV aerial. I don't use one. I just use DVDs, which is for the smaller TV. There's a DVD there. Don't really have the time. So in this video, I'm going to talk about how the enemy has robbed me of my resources, my time, my mobile phones, my social media, and robbed me of my civil rights. And they came to do a house arrest by creating a crisis, which they have created, designed in order to do a house arrest, to come in here, to stress me out. There's room number 1, and here's room number 2 next to the Christmas tree, and next to the Easter egg. So they've betrayed me, they've lied and said it was an accident and this commonly happens. It doesn't commonly happen. So it's room number 1. Room number 2, I need to find a professional to help me move my bed into room number 3, which is where I'm going to move the bins out, put it in the hall. And this is room number 4. But this is not a room, it's just a corridor that has been split in half. So I'm going to put the wheelie bins in here, put my bed in here next to the cage. It's a very big cage, which could be also used as a bird cage. And so I'm moving the bins, 2 bins here and 1 bin over here next to a cupboard. I've got to move these cardboard boxes, which are emptied. I'm very stressed by the whole thing. I'm clumsy, I drop things as a disabled person, and I don't want to have adult care services because I was already rejected. I think I've got something important in this book that I've left inside, which is a golden, let me just shake it. It's not coming out. I think I left a golden envelope in here with some important contacts. No, it's not coming out, so there's no it's not in here. Pause. Bird. Hello, bird. And I've got 2 boxes of hay. Good morning. Good morning. How are you? Are you enjoying your leftover millet spray? I have to get you some more soon. How are you, Shashasha? Am I doing a big video today? What are they doing using technology to do a house arrest and do home? So they've created a crisis in order for them to have meetings with me, because it's an enemy. It doesn't look out for my best interest. And they've made it so obvious. I'll just take off my slippers here. How can they do that? It should be illegal for them to use systems to mess up my eligible housing benefit and say that I'm not paying my rent. It's awful. And then since I've been accused wrongly, they've attacked me. There was 1 cobweb out of all the windows. Only 1 cobweb. I have some paint up there on the ceiling since I wasn't strong enough to use even a long stick, even raising my arm was very painful, a lot of pain. And so I'm going to be doing this video today, talking about how I'm leaving the Catholic Bible that I've used for many years because it's got the Apocrypha in it. I don't think it's right. I need to use Monkey PG Tips box to lean on so that it doesn't block my camera. I'm going to be using a children's Bible. Yep, to make it so simple that even children can understand how these crooks are bad. And literally within 2 days, this whole box is full, even though I've contacted workers regarding the post and how I'm getting too much junk mail. In this bag, I keep all my bin bags in. I need more bin bags. Oh, so in this corner here, I'm going to put another sofa, which I've had since I was 18 years old, that I had from my own money, my own pocket. It wasn't a housing benefit or council tax benefit or any other benefit. So I had that sofa for a long time. And I don't want these racist thugs to use anything to discredit me. They're not allowed to use anything to discredit me, and it's breaking the law. And they do it anyway. They always want to find a loop way or some type of way they can break the law without being caught or covered up. I've had Gordon Ramsay insult my stickers on the window and say that my home looks disgusting. I couldn't exactly do home improvements because I have terrible medical conditions, and I could not do home improvements. And when I arrived here, the rail for hanging your curtain had collapsed, and there was a hole there. And so I put the wallpaper up, and with my daughter, I've tried my best, even though I was on my last legs and denied proper medical treatments and even going privately. So it's very bad. Yeah, so I'm using these stickers on the window for practical reasons, because I struggled even my own laundry. I struggled with it. I'm only just starting to walk in maximum 25 meters if I can, but I am very weak, so I can struggle bending and things of that nature. And it's practical to have these stickers on the window. It's also privacy. And he said, ugh. And I will say at them, saying, what are you doing violating my privacy in my Google account? So other celebrities too have attacked me, which is unfair and illegal, using social media and technology. So someone who's severely disabled, who's dying, who has severe back problems, it's not a minor thing, it's a major thing to have your spine collapse and a bulging disc and being paralyzed in the recent 2 years ago. Only just being able to sit for a lot longer than I did. And it does take a lot longer to recover. I have got a plan to move home. I'm not going to stay where I'm not welcomed, and I'm not going to stay with those who are constantly abusing their position of power. Yeah. So my bird's over there. She's got a shade lemon cotton cloth, dishcloth there to shade her. If it gets too windy, I shut the window. I noticed she started eating the plastic, that black perch, and it's a plastic perch. And I said, don't do that, pet. I said, take this instead. Take this fruit stick instead and gnaw on that, peck on that. There's one broken gate, and I'm using a magnet from an old fish tank to keep the gate shut. Using a glass jar and a plastic jar to prop up her porcelain drinking cup. She always poos in her water, which is very weird. I had a nightmare of a pigeon pooing in human beings drinking cups of teas, which was, it was as if my pigeon was defending me and my little soldier who's going to poo in human beings' mugs, coffee mugs and teacups. I woke up from that nightmare. It's not normal to have a pigeon be my defense. Pigeons are very similar sounding to rabbits. Rabbits sound very similar. They've been kind to me, pigeons. Haven't pooed much on my balcony at all. Maybe one or twice in the whole year of 12 months. Most people don't like pigeons. They say they're a rat with wings, but I say they are similar to dove. They're a dove family. She's a parakeet family. She has a lucky escape where she recently had dropped on the floor and got very dusty. I had to give her a bath and oil her feathers with organic coconut. She's just decided to drink from her porcelain mug. She's got cuttlefish bone. She's got a mineral rock. Yeah. Her name is Shashasha. I used to have a printer where I would print all my pictures up there. They're all blank. Everything has been emptied. That is normality in my life has been removed as a result of systemic abuse and Target. They also want to make digital IDs where they can continually target you for abuse. I suggested normal identification badge. Well, they didn't like that. The feathers look rippled, and she looks like she's got matted feathers similar. I'll call her a good dog, a good shepherdess. Are you my shepherdess, Shashasha? I'll call you a shepherdess. I've got a picture of sheep up there. Let's see if I can turn. I said I won't picture myself too much. Not too much, a little bit, but not too much. And then I've got bites here of mosquitoes that bit me like crazy. I contacted my chemist and they refused to give me immediate help. Instead, they took my order for my medication and said, call me back in 5 days from now. Or 3 days from now, and then you can have all of it together. He didn't want to split the order in half to help me immediately. So I'm applying not eucalyptus oil, tea tree oil and Vaseline. Don't have any I don't have any garlic. If I have some garlic, I can apply some garlic on it. I've got red elbows from leaning on my elbows too long. So let's show the picture of my beautiful picture of sheep. I also have a cage for my bird when I sort out the perch, and I'd like her to have one bird partner, preferably the same sex. But if I have chicks, I will be very happy with that. It's very difficult to find. Sometimes pet shops makes mistakes, but I'm probably going to go for a male anyway, as I love birds. Whereas with my rabbit, I will go for a female because she she was always sold to me as a pair, and it's always good for the animals to have a partner. They live longer. But in this environment, for human beings, it's the opposite. Because a lot of traditional government has disappeared. So it is the opposite. And you probably live longer if you were with a male partner, because of the high divorce rate, affairs, using and abusing. She's now eating from her food bowl. So I make a routine here to sit here and try and strengthen myself as much as I can from the weakness, and have my exercises up here given to me from the hospital. Yep. And this is given to me from the hospital that I keep. I also purchased some more exercises over there. But it's very serious, my condition. It's life endangering. That's what they told me, because it's the bulging disc and the collapse of my spine. That means I'd lost saddle sensation and have a very sore bottom, very sore back and tummy. So to help my digestive system and to kill the virus, which I've had for a long time, which is called a rotavirus in my stomach, and low immune system, that's another reason why I've kept myself away from the public and remained under strict house being indoors. And I'm having this nettle tea infusion in my bottle. There we go, nettle tea. It should say 20 bags of organic fair trade nettle. And I need to have this regularly so that I can have natural alternative medicine. I'm going to drink now. Can I demonstrate how I drink it? It's lovely and sweet, and it has an aftertaste similar to mint. And I'll finish that after my Bible study, the rest of it. So what I'm up against is individuals who have attacked my Apple phone, who are multi-billionaires, and talking to my landlord. They also have stolen this number from Facebook, and all my details have been stolen as a result, which is data theft and identity theft. It's also robbery. I mean, why would I buy expensive mobile phone to help me rebuild my life after it's been destroyed unfairly? Why would I buy a phone to help me when it's all been destroyed? I think having a mobile phone Could be the best thing or the worst thing, depending on who's tracking you and who I've subscribed to, which should not be the case, but it is. It is, unfortunately. Well, I do have a friend. I'm going to ask my friend to join me on the internet so that I have someone who is a friend that could hopefully ensure that I do have my freedoms, the right type of freedom, under fair community standards. Yeah, I will, but it's a death threat to me to be able to use WhatsApp and then be attacked on WhatsApp or anything else. So they're also looking at my extended family in Cambridge. I've pinched only the Psalms because I don't like the Apocrypha in here. Pinched out this. And so it's they say I belong to them. I don't belong to them. It's a corruption. And they're also probably spying on my distant relatives and comparing how much they have more than me, which is another attack, perverted attack. I don't have any contact with my distant cousins or aunties or uncles because they've rejected me. They told me to stay away. They've told lies about me. They've misrepresented me so that they can protect themselves. And yeah, I mean, I do have some relatives in Poland, but I've lost contact with them in Poland. And I don't think it's right. It's illegal. It's wrong for public profiles on social media using my social network to intrude in my personal and private life or invade, because I cannot afford the same softwares and protections as them. It's wrong. So that's the consequence of using free social media. It becomes weaponized. Everything that's free becomes weaponized. The best things in life are supposed to be free, but they've weaponized it. Yeah. So it's very interesting how the devil knows what makes me tick and what's my security, what's my safety, and it comes to kill, steal, and destroy, which is a typical type of attack. I've got my name written on the edges of the Bible, my old name. Yep. They are prejudiced against Christian people. They said I was fanatical. I wasn't. I have books up there that are secular and non-secular. Religious. So they've told lies about me. I do make it, especially at weekends, important to read the Bible and acknowledge that these are ancient books, and acknowledge that this is not necessarily the reality, but it could be a reflection of my reality. But it is more than a mirror. To be raptured in the Spirit of the Holy Spirit that will communicate through the Bible and through prayers. So I would write down my prayer in a journal, and then I would reflect on Bible. However, God is more than a Bible book, than a building, or any other holy book. God is everywhere, and God is not going to be limited to a body, a book, or a building. I've said that. And anyone who has this compulsive disorder, or who has this disorder of believing that only God can be found in a book, is needs to have some correction. So I haven't been bitten anywhere on my legs, only my arms. I did see the mosquito too. So let me zoom in and see what the Bible says. Indeed, God, this is the same door as the door of my auntie, uncle, and cousins in Cambridge who have rejected me. But they somehow probably secretly are spying on my internet or my social media somehow. So this social media that I'm on now, which is Warrior Xena, not the American Xena, but similar, because I liked what she did in some of her advertisement. I'm her fan. But unfortunately, a lot of these celebrities are satanic, and they think that there's no way out. Once they've sold their souls to the devil, that's it. So whatever can be used for bad, God can use for good when we put our trust in Him. Indeed, God is good to the pure-hearted. So I need to use my finger and tilt the Bible at the same time, if that is possible. My feet were on the point of stumbling and falling. So King David wrote this. It says, a little more I had slipped. I had envied. So envy means you're not allowed to be happy. I don't want you to be happy. Jealousy means I want whatever you have as a parasite, and I want you to lose everything, end up with nothing, and I don't have what you have. So it's very similar, envy and jealousy. I was envious of the arrogant and the prosperity of the wicked. For them there is no such thing as pain. They're never troubled. They have all the comfort in the world. They're exempt from any cares. They have exempt certificates, which are the human lot. And they have no part in Adam's afflictions. So there are two types of humans. There's the Adam type of human, who is suffering for his truth and for his rebellion against God, as a sinner, humble sinner, versus the non-humble sinners. So pride is a necklace, violence is a necklace, and bad pride, not the good confident type, and violence is their necklace and their clothing, even their uniforms that they wear. For their fat oozes out malice. So when they give birth to sin and malice, and their fat. Their hearts drip with cunning lies. They love lies more than the truth. Cynically, they're the same as atheists. They advocate evil. Loftily, they advocate force. So that reminds me of my loft and the tank. So there's a bad tank in the loft, and there is another tank that's external to my flat. And there's another bad tank internal to my flat, which is that bedroom over there with those orange things in the cupboard, which had always failed when I needed it the most. I had so many disrepairs and repairs of a 15-year-old boiler for central heating I could never use when I needed it the most. In the winter time, there was always a dysfunction, and it was deliberately done. They're protected, covered-up criminals who are behaving as the left-right, or they are the right-left. Either way, they're protected by crimes they commit in the disguise of a uniform. They deliberately come here and make the boiler dysfunctional. It had been reported the parts are missing and the pressure was wrong. And then they gave me a new boiler for the central heating in February the 25th in 2024, last year. They reported a part was missing. So they're attacking my home, they're damaging this property, then blaming me, doing a house arrest, putting me under single point of contact, attacking my behaviour, character assassination, exploiting my monies. So my landlord is a robber. He's robbing me of everything. And since we've had Brexit, I can confirm in the public, things are a lot worse when it comes to human rights. Basic human rights are attacked. Children in poor families are separated. My medical treatments are wrong type of treatments or denied the right type of treatment. Support is a disguise of attack. So I want to be as independent as possible. I want to have my own voice, my own perceptions, my own reality, my own instructions, my own diplomacy, my own capacity to reality rather than someone else's. And they say they're concerned in order to overly criticize me in my severe disability. Yep. So I have got problems with my physical disability. They will say something else. I was very close to having a surgery. Then somebody had punctured the tyres of the ambulance and they refused to provide me another appointment. The government cancelled my operation on my spine. So going 10 steps forwards, going 10 steps backwards. So in other words, there it is. They force. It does say they force or impose upon. I'm trying to find the word where it says force. They impose afflictions and oppression on the vulnerable, the injured, those who have injustice. There's no way out. And death threats. I have already read the word force. Here we go. They are devil's advocates who force evil on you. And the more you fight, the more you have self-defense, the more they weaponize, drag you to court, and are looking to incriminate or demoralize you and spread disinformation about you. That's how they force. So they're not the good type of advocates, they're bad type of advocates. If they were good, I would accept them, but they're bad, so I reject them. I don't want liars in my home. I don't want thieves in my home. I don't want robbers and rapists in my home. Even if they call themselves professional or personal, I don't want them in my home. Because they're not humbled to this two humans. They don't have any consideration or care. So therefore, they are careless, merciless. I don't do self-harm. Neither do I love the abuser who would harm me. So they would help to harm me or harm to help me as bad leaders who want to change and rearrange me. If I had done something wrong, then I would accept correction. However, since I haven't done anything wrong, I shouldn't have to be corrected by them, accusing me wrongly about my behaviour for shouting at them. They deserved it. They deserved me shouting at them. I very rarely get angry. I'm very slow to anger. And they provoked me to anger. They kept putting the phone down on me. This is Thrive Homes Association. And they kept being mischievous, troublemaking. with this Casey Wright and Samantha Whitbread. So how did they attack me? Through giving me charity without care. And I took the charity, accepted it, because they said my home needs a proper cleaning. And I was stuck in one room, the rubbish got accumulated. My rabbit escaped. The cage was not big enough. I have corrected that, and I got the bigger cage. I took the care from the carers who were a charity, but then Thrive Homes destroyed all that because they said I wasn't grateful to Thrive Homes. I didn't give them a positive thank you on the online. I did it for charity organisation, but I didn't do it for Thrive Homes. So, of course, I'm not going to do it when they've robbed me of my money. £1,000 they owe me for housing litigation for nothing. So having a solicitor made matters worse. It's wicked. And they prospered on my suffering. And that solicitor ended up being liquidized, and I don't think I'll ever get my money back for nothing. For housing litigation, which I paid, and then all my evidence and all my emails had disappeared from Microsoft. So in this video, I'm condemning these robbers, which was Microsoft, and others on giffgaff. So it doesn't matter which connection you have, they can destroy all connections. So that little fruit fly just came in. So they can defile and corrupt all connections regardless of what it is. All emails can be in the wrong hands. So I have to discontinue using emails except for shopping delivery. But even that is tracked and traced by corrupted crooks. It says their hearts drip with cunning. Cynically they advocate evil. That is why my people turn to them. Why did my people turn to them and enjoy the waters of plenty? And how can God know? So water is also is a physical thing, and it's also a spiritual thing, which represents joy. So why had my people turned to as an example of my circumstances? Why am I relying on a thorn? Why am I depending for my housing needs and my happiness with an enemy? And that's the answer to that question, is that I had no other choice. As an orphan, as an outcast of my family, because my mother's boyfriend had sexually abused me. Not to have sex with. I did not have sex with my mother's boyfriend. They had molested me from age 5. And then I told my husband, my one and only husband, and I shouldn't have told him because he was an atheist. He was the devil. And I've had terrible problems of misrepresentation and the government putting their nose in where it's none of their business, and they would misrepresent me because they've never spoken to me. And this is what happens with intruders and invaders. They would steal somebody's information and make assumptions without having to speak to me. So how would they know when they're only looking at partial one-sided judgment without having to speak to the victim or the person involved regarding my background? Why are they using door 73 in Cambridge, my cousins and aunties and uncles, my past against me? And why are they using age against me? Why are they using my sex and gender against me? Why are they using my religion against me? Why are they using my children against me? Why are they using my eligible state benefits against me? Everything that they get their hands on, they would corrupt. So that means I have nothing left to recover, to survive. And I'm constantly stuck in a limbo in the worst case scenario. as a result. And then God is asking all people who are relying on tyrants and the thorn to one's flesh, why are you relying on them for your happiness, your peace, your plentiful of waters? And the response is, God does not know, God does not see. The Most High God has abandoned the orphans and the outcasts. And God has accused the orphans and the outcasts of being wicked for piling up wealth without any worries. Now that's not true. I've been exploited of my money, the very benefit I'm supposed to use for cleaning services and for medications I don't have because I'm using it for bin services. I can't carry anything heavy. Don't have the strength. I'm constantly shaking and shivering every day. My auntie didn't ask me about that, or my uncle. They instantly rejected me and ignored me and didn't want to care about my sufferings. Because I was rejected, they assumed I was going to argue with them. They rejected to see me because they assumed I was going to argue with them. I'm actually very quiet and I'm not arguing with anybody. They assumed that I was in contact with them after not being in contact with them for about 17, 18 years. They suddenly assumed that I was going to argue with them. And I did not. I wrote them a letter, which can be found on Grebe channel. So it's Mima's again, my name, Mima, Grebe. And then the other channel is Pennypot, Honeypot. Grebe is, so yeah, that's on my old mobile phone with an old channel that I've had for 3 years, which is overtaken by the enemy, who is constantly scrutinizing me and censoring my speech. When in fact it should be the other way around. And so I've been attacked saying that I'm breaching community standards once or twice in the whole year. Yep, that's on my other phone, which I have put in my bin bag area to remind me to give it to a specialist, because they've removed, I think it is in here, they've removed my password. They've locked me out of my own phone so many times. I think I did put it in here, or I put it in the box. Pause. Right, so if I expose, I know who it is, and if I say their names as bullies, they would attack me even more. So I won't be protected for saying who they are. I know exactly who they are. So this is my phone, which had been cracked. It's broken glass, so I've put this plastic over it to protect me from broken glass. And I also had my picture on the back of it with Gorilla Glue. So this has my old, it still works, it's just I'm locked out. So I'm going to give it to a friend who is a Muslim. He's professional. The battery's run out, so I can't switch it on, I don't think, to show. It needs to be charged. So there's a password for higher security where the police, the corrupt police and multi-billionaires have stolen. So they've locked me out. I'm going to ask him to just only unlock the screen. Don't do a factory reset. Just unlock it so that I can have my information back, because there's important information on there. And they've also got nearby devices. Even though I switched it off, they have forced nearby devices in order to get a signal and a connection of my other phones, which I want to keep separate, so it's not having the same corruption. But they've still managed to track and trace me, because on my new phone, Yeah, on my new phone, which I have, they, the one I'm recording on, they have still found me by using politicians, using my voice ID illegally, and using my date of birth to find my accounts. So this is why I've just used a fantasy name such as Warrior Xena to make it less easier for them to find me. And I also sometimes use a fake identity, a fake birthday, in order to be able to use the services such as Just Eat, as I'm disabled, Deliveroo, Uber Eats, and things like that, because I cannot carry these heavy things, shopping bags. It's better than the big shop for groceries. Everything done online is attacked for the poor people. And they're saying that the poor people are the same as Palestinians, that they want to destroy, kill, steal, and destroy from. So who has done this? It's obviously the war criminals that have done this. And they're plundering, and they're very loud. And they're saying that they're the chosen ones, and that they are saints. They're not saints, and they're not the chosen ones. They're Satan. Intruders and invaders. And they're going around, lurking around, looking for who they can devour. They come across as angels, but they're the devil in disguise. That's exactly what they are. And Elvis Presley had problems with his first marriage. He didn't leave his first marriage. Instead, he adored his first marriage forever. That made him end up in hell, because she was the devil in disguise of an angel. The very song that Elvis Presley sang, there was no regret that he shagged her and had sex with her. There's no regrets, because anyone who is a devil will corrupt the children. That's why the Christians say do not marry someone who is unequally yoked, because ultimately the end result is that they will attack your children. And this is my biggest regret. Married to an atheist, married to an arrogant individual, a selfish, spoiled brat. He suffered, but he did seek for the truth. However, he resisted the truth. He hated the truth. He loved the lies more. Therefore, my ex-husband was the devil, and he did attack our one and only child we had together. And so it's extremely dangerous to associate with the non-believers and or those who call themselves believers that are false Christians, because even devils believe in Christ Jesus. So there are many false Christians that do not respect you for suffering for your truth. And that's awful for every denomination, not only Catholics. Yeah. So this phone has two of my channels that are old, and I have two other channels that are new, and it's already being attacked. I've only literally had them in two channels for 2 months, 3 months, 2 months now, and it's already being attacked. So I had to privatize everything. How am I supposed to make friends when everything's privatized? It seems really difficult. So I'll leave that for him tomorrow to get, and he will unlock my phone and keep it unlocked. However, these phones I have to lock because I'm using social media to protect myself. I'd rather, if I had a choice, corrupt police officer or a criminal, who would I rather have? And the answer to that question is I would rather have a corrupt police officer than a criminal on my phone. So therefore, I have put a lock on my phone that I'm currently using, which is Xena Warrior, and the other one, which is a private channel. And I have one or two programs or documentaries which I have opened to the members of the public as a notice board, looking at the effects. So this is exactly what my auntie and uncles have done. They've accused me wrongly, and many of my relatives have. I should have betrayed your children's race because you talk the same as your enemy, you breathe your enemy, you live with your enemy, and I have washed my hands of innocence because I have a clean heart, you see. So wherever I lay my hat, that's my home, even if when I'm homeless, because of the circumcised heart and mind. So anything that they have accused me of, gods with a small g, human gods, are accusing me of being the same as the wicked. That I'm the same as anyone who is toxic, narcissistic, sociopath, schizophrenic. And so they're wrongly accusing me. They don't even know me. I've become a stranger to my relatives, to my own race, as a result of their greed, their envy, and their jealousy. So that's how they are, unfortunately. I've showed them care and love. I've recorded them as evidence. Then the corrupt government would come and want to steal and corrupt my evidence. They're saying that they would rather have someone who is skinny and tiny compared to someone who is big, on the big side. So they are uncircumcised hearts and mind that look at the outer appearances only. And so their destiny is to be destroyed. But the corrupt government has done it the other way around. Adultery is the same as murderers. The slippery slope drive them down to chaos, hideous destruction, terror. I will laugh at them, I will mock them. So these are the dogmatic type of human gods and goddesses who are using systemic abuse. They have been annihilated by terror. They're like sleepwalking, and their nightmare has become a reality. I will dismiss their image. My heart, this is all human gods and goddesses who are calling themselves gods. I have no affection for them. I'm dried up. Uncomprehending, clumsy animal. So they're saying that my disability is a clumsy animal. They're saying I'm stupid. They're saying I'm ugly. So they've beautified Satan and human gods, and they've destroyed saints. Even so, I've stayed in your presence. You grasped me by the right hand. You guided me with advice and drew me to wake up to your glory. So these are the saints here, and over here are the Satanists. So this is a true prayer from the circumcised heart, being humbled, and these are the non-humbled, the arrogant. Even so, I've stayed in your presence, and you grasped me by your right hand, and you guided me in your advice, and you will draw me to wake up in your glory. For who else is there for me in heaven? With you, I miss nothing on earth. So in God's presence, even though we are poor, we are rich in God's presence. That is a different type of value other than gold, silver, or any other money. My heart's rock and my portion of life, God is my life giver forever. Truly, who abandon you will perish. You will destroy those who adulterously desert you. My happiness is being near to God, and I have God as my refuge to tell all the works that God has done. So I'm in their house now, in their door, looking at the devil and looking at God, looking at them. So they are my bad spies, condemning me and judging me wrongly, and God is condemning them and right. So I'm going to find another other Bible other than the Apocrypha, and that Catholic Bible is a no-no, but I still use it. for picking up and pinching certain books, but I won't pinch and pick up any other books, such as Apocrypha, because there are crimes involved in Apocrypha that in history that God does not want to repeat bad history in Apocrypha. So, I have the Children's Bible here, which is written on the back of it. I don't know what I've written it. I love this Children's Bible. And especially Jesus and Mary and how she saw an angel. And she said, I have never slept or had sex with a man. How can I be pregnant? Immaculate birth. And the angel says, God will give you, and you will be the only one on earth to give birth. Blessed be Mary. It says, there's a dream here for you, and you will call him baby Jesus, and your dream will be fulfilled. For all the bad things that the bad people have done, God will punish them. And Joseph remembered the angel who told him to make arrangements for the wedding. They were married and they vowed to take the baby, because it was a holy baby. It wasn't an affair. It wasn't adultery. Yeah. And so, the children love this story, which is a traditional Christmas story. And I like this book very much. And I have other books there for children and for adults. I also purchased a photo books from Google, which is, I did business with Google, which was like £100, nearly £100, not quite. And all my pictures there have 2 books. So since I did business with them, it was disgusting because when it arrived, I can smell perfume on it. In other words, they're saying you're poo and I am perfume. So this is how they've taken advantage of my bank details, and I never put my bank details in a Google account again after that experience. So they've insulted me and my injuries, and added insult and kicked me while I was down. So that's how I close my video. I still have to get the knife to cut all these boxes because I can't wait for another 2 months or 1 month. I can't wait for the shopkeeper to come and take them to be reused, that I normally give them that to take away, to remove and to replace my fruit and vegetables in a container that is not plastic. And I use plastic plates or plates that can be thrown away, paper plates. That's how I view their riches. So the rich will become poor and the intelligent will become stupid. That's God's condemnation on them. So I'm now going to pack up all my rubbish, and this is all filled already with cardboards that I've already shredded with my hand. I have a lot to clear out of the way. I hope to God to purchase some more bin bags because I don't think I've got enough. So that's what I hope to do today. Closing the video, I've completed my message.